Hi, Ida. Hi, everybody. Hi, Ida. Hi, Paul. Hi, Stephen. I'll unmute you all. Um,
Okay.
Hi.
Oh,
Hello,
Oh.
Paul.
hello, Ida.
Hi, Ida.
Good. Nice to see you.
Ida, you have no audio on. Good to see you again, Steve. Did I just see you?
Yes. Hi.
Ida, put your audio on.
Steve, you know what happens? When you and Chuck are listening, you get sound on each side, and there's a delay. That's what causes the staticky sound. Hi, Annie. Annie, you have no sound on.
Oh, good. I'm glad you turned it off. Forgot. The Ida doesn't have any sound.
Ida, you have no sound on, honey.
Hello.
Hi, Rita. Good job, honey.
Good job.
Hi, Rita, darling.
Stevie. How are you?
Good. So good to see you.
Good to see you too, Chuck, as well.
Yes, he's logging in right now.
Good, good. Hi, Idala.
Hi, Arthur.
Ah,
Arthur Ida.
Hi, Kanta.
Can't see you.
hello.
Major co-host, Kanta.
Is your sound on? Say something.
Something.
Put it on.
It's on.
It's on.
Something.
Yeah. it's
Something.
good. That was a good something. Hello.
Hello.
Roz is on too. I think it's Roz.
Hmm?
Roz, is that you? I can't get her in.
Judy.
This is Beth Gincher. Good evening.
Hi, Laura.
Okay, how we doing?
Betsy.
Hello, dear one.
Hi, Betsy. How are you?
Laura, you
Wonderful.
muted. I can't unmute you. Hi, Ann.
Hi, how are you, Darlene?
Don't fall asleep.
Ooh.
You-
It's the quietest place in the house.
I hear you. I hear you.
Oh, she's in
I'm-
bed.
I'm
But
going,
I- When
I'm going
people
to
fall asleep, I usually take the video off so I don't get embarrassed.
no, I'm just reclining. I ate reclining and I'm gonna watch the service reclining.
Hold on,
You're
I'm getting
practicing
back in.
I was just going to say that.
Oh, there you go. All right, good. Thank you.
Uh,
Laura, you're
Doreen,
muted.
can
You're
you
muted,
tell-
Laura. I can't change it.
Where's
Doreen, can you tell I just took a shower?
Honey?
Can you tell I just took a shower?
Yes, you smell
yes.
wonderful.
Smell,
There
yeah,
you
you
go.
do. Thank you. You smell wonderful.
He smelled you up.
Hi, Gail. Hi, Stan.
Here's Steve. Hello, Steve.
Hi,
You
Gail.
guys are muted. I can't unmute you, Gail. Stan, I can't unmute. Oh, there you go. Okay. How you doing? Hi, Stephen.
Doreen,
Yes,
could you take my camera off?
sure. Hold on.
Oh.
Okay. Here you
Thank
go.
you.
You're
Okay.
welcome.
Oh,
I
there's
just
everybody.
came out of the shower too.
Yeah. It's all right.
I'm
No,
sure you look
I'll tell you
beautiful.
how to do it next time you sell. Once we start, I'm gonna mute everybody except the cantor and the rabbi.
Okay, I still think we should all go around and everybody should tell when they show.
I am going to put my mask so I cannot see what is going on here.
That's
Yes. I only come here for the dignity.
Too early for the shower.
Try hard.
Rabbi,
Yes, sir.
are you leaving the bear for the counting of the Omer reverse?
Yes, I'm doing something with my face. That's what I'm doing.
I beg your
Yes,
pardon.
I
Well,
finally-
that's because he,
Okay, looks
that's
good.
because
What?
Aunt Beth cut all your hair off on your head, so you might as well grow it on your
Yes,
face.
but she made a noble attempt. And I generally,
that you need.
I go to a place to get my hair cut, which I haven't been to in months, where every time you go, you get somebody else. So, but they make up for it by being very inexpensive. Okay. Yes. My dog, on the other hand, he pays $60 every time he goes. So it balances. Okay. Hello, Stephen. Hello, Stephen
Hi.
Askin. Okay, and Laura and Sherry and
Sherry,
Roz.
Laura.
I think that's Rhoda. Okay, and
Oh,
how are you guys? Stan and Gail and Chuck and Annie and Judith. It's like the Mickey Mouse Club. And up there, Madame Presidente and the consort.
Rachel's coming on, Rachel and,
Okay,
This is Beth just on the telephone, but I'm smiling at all of you.
thank you, sweetie. Hello, Beth. Okay,
Okay.
yes,
Shabbat Shalom.
yes. Okay, Hasan, would you care to do something?
Come on, come on. I see it. Okay, so
one second, let me just mute everybody. Hold on. Unmute. Okay, there you go.
Shalom
Lechem Malachei Hasharet,
Malachei
Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lachem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malachei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu.
Shalom Malachi Shalom Malachi
Elyon. Mimelech Malachei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lechem Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mimelech Malachei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, that was 13. 14.
14.
Okay.
Page number 15.
50.
40 שנה כול בדורובה.
Tail end of the song.
המתוהה לבב, הם לא ידעו דרכי. אשר נשבעתי מאבי, יבואו אל מנוחתי.
Okay,
In the bottom of page 16,
16.
last 4 lines, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ.
ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, השמיים,
ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. יהי מים, יהי מים, יהי מים, ומלוא, יהי מים, יהי מים, יהי מים, ומלוא. יעלו שרי בכל אשר בו אסיר עלינו, כל הצייר, לבני אדוני כמעט, כמעט, נשפוט הארץ. ותבל בצדק ועמים באמונתו.
Okay,
19,
sorry.
19, 19, XIX, 19.
Yes. Like the
Last
Super
3
Bowl.
lines.
Mhm.
רוממו אדוני אלוהינו וישתחוו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו וישתחוו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו אדוני וישתחוו. So it's the moment of the Lechavodi, I guess.
Okay, cool. Okay. I can see why choirs don't work with Zoom, because if I'm hearing the chazan, he's not hearing me, and it's wonderful. It's singing together separately.
We are all soloists.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So Lechavodi, page number 22 and 20, 21 and 22.
Yes.
Dodi לקראת קלה, בני שבת מקבלה. דodi לקראת קלה, בני שבת מקבלה. דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת מקבלה.
דודי לקראת קלה.
שמור ושקור בדיבורך, השמיע ולמיוחד, אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, ושמו לתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת מקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת מקבלה. לקראת שבת מכוון אליך, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקרב לשוחה, שמחתי בשבת תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת מקבלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, בני שבת מקבלה.
Okay, please rise if you wish, or don't. 22, fourth stanza. All right, we'll continue now on page 23 with Mizmor Shir Le'Yom HaShabbat.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולסמר לשמך אלוהינו, ולסמר לשמך אלוהינו. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, אמונתך עלינו.
And continuing the last four lines.
Tzadikata amari yifrach ke'erev Lebanon
Continuing now with the Baruch Hu, and you'll find that.
You can say your, are you going to talk now?
Yes, sure, why not? Okay,
Yes.
Good idea. All right, I want to share with you, one of the significant things about this Torah portion is that it's the first and I think only mention of the Nazarite. Now, a Nazarite is not a Nazarene. Nazarene is an old name for a Christian because, okay, I'll have to look that one up. All right. Anyway, as far as Nazarites are concerned, this is a very extraordinary custom which people do not do, except I think 15-year-olds who don't want to get a haircut. What happens is that you take an oath, and it generally lasts for 30 days. You take an oath not to cut your hair or beard, and also not to drink wine or strong drink. Now, the story goes, I had a friend in high school who, for reasons we won't go into, left Yeshiva High School and went to Masifta Tiferet Yerushalayim, known as MTJ. Now, MTJ's major selling point in those days was that their Rosh Yeshiva, that is the head of the yeshiva, the tip-top rabbi, was Rabbi Moshe Feinstein of blessed memory. He was a major halachic decisor way back, I think he passed in the 1980s. And Jerry was put into some Rebbe Shir, some rabbi's class, and he was growing his hair long. It was the 60s. We all wanted to be the Beatles, or better, the Rolling Stones or the Doors. And even if we couldn't sing like them or pick up an instrument, we still wanted to grow our hair. This was, anyway, so one day Jerry is in Talmud class and the rabbi says to him, Stern, get a haircut. Now, any other normal person would have said, yes, Rebbe, and done it and come back the next day. But Jerry was a smarty, or, well, you know, the general term for that, the general expression. He said, Rebbe, he said, I can't get a haircut. And the Rebbe said, why not? And he says, because I've taken an oath to be a Nazirite. Once again, any normal rabbi would have said, Stern, you're full of baloney. Don't come back until you get a haircut, and I'm going to call your mother. Because as we all know, with Jewish boys and girls, if you threaten to call their parent, they melt right in front of you. Well, this rabbi took him seriously, and everybody goes out to recess. And you know what? Every school has these. They have this particular group of stooges who go and do dirty work for the authorities. Well, here comes a stooge, and he taps Jerry on the arm, and he says, Stern, the Rosh Yeshiva wants to see you. So they hauled him in before this Bet Din. You had 3 of these high-powered Orthodox rabbis. And as the Av Bet Din, the head of the law court, was Rav Moshe Feinstein himself, let him rest in peace. And there before this Bet Din, they told Jerry Stern, who had never taken an oath to be a Nazirite, that he was to abrogate his oath. So Jerry stood there and they said, do you abrogate your oath? And he said, yes, I do. And that was the end. And P.S., he got a haircut. But again, this just shows you the lengths to which some people take Jewish law. It is a Torah law, by the way, but we don't generally have Nazirites anymore. Okay, extra credit question. Who was the most famous Nazirite to ever live? His name starts with an S. It's got another S in the middle. Shimshon HaGibor. Samson, okay? People don't know that about Samson. Samson got his super strength from the length of his hair. He was a Nazirite his entire life, and I'll tell you what happened before he was born. It's also significant that the legend of Samson, and we don't know if he existed. This is simply a tale from the book of Judges, and every time they told the story, he got bigger and stronger. Well, what happened was that a couple of boys, I think they were from Cleveland. This is back in the 1930s. A couple of Jewish boys named Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster. They invented Superman, and they based him on the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible story of Samson. Well, there was a couple. The husband's name was Manoach, and the wife was named, we have no idea, because generally, when the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, tells a story involving a woman, it just refers to her as the wife of the male character. She has no name. Sometimes she gets a name from the Midrash, from the legends. This is Manoach. And they are suffering at this point, along with the rest of the Israelites, because they did the wrong thing. And in the Bible, what does God do when you do a wrong thing? He sends the Philistines, the Jebusites, the Girgashites, any ites who are in the neighborhood, and these people oppress you. The Philistines, in spite of our saying to this day, if somebody has no culture, if somebody is a boor, you say to them, or you say of them, oh, he's such a Philistine. But archaeology has proven the Philistines were very advanced. The only book which we have about them is the Bible, and the Bible only says bad things about them, which is unfortunate. For example, in terms of human progress, the Philistines were already in the Iron Age when our ancestors were bopping around with bronze. Have you ever tried to kill somebody with bronze? I did the other day. Somebody was attacking my dog. I pulled out my bronze sword and I could not cleave him in half. So I switched for the iron sword. And if you have to cleave somebody, iron is the way to go. Write that down. Okay. Anyway, so this couple is not able to have a baby. What is the general explanation for why in the Bible you cannot have a baby? Because you sinned. It's very clear. If you get tooth decay, you sinned. If you have athlete's foot, you sinned, and so on. Well, In this case, Mrs. Manoach is out puttering around the yard one day, and all of a sudden she sees an angel. I know that you're familiar with angels in the Torah. Angels in the Torah could be people, but this is a full-fledged angel with a halo and a bed sheet and a pair of white wings, really huge. And the angel comes down. Now, Mr. Manoach is nowhere around. It's only Mrs. Manoach. It's a big deal when the angel comes to a woman. And the angel says, hey, how you doing? And Mrs. Manoach says, yeah, who are you? And he says, I'm an angel, and you're going to have a baby. And she says, oh, that's so nice. Thank you. The angel disappears. This happens a couple more times. If it happens a couple more times in any biblical story, it's because they want to emphasize the point. And then one day, Manoach comes, and Manoach is standing there next to the wife, asking her what's for lunch. And the angel appears. And hi, I'm the angel, and you're going to have a baby. Angel disappears. And Manoach is yelling after it, wait, you'll come to lunch. We'll make you an offering. We'll make you a burnt animal sacrifice of some kind. And the angel says, listen, Jack, you can tarry me, but I'm not going to eat your food. Mazel tov on the baby. And the angel goes away. And Manoach, with the typical intelligence that many biblical men show, except maybe Moses, and he had issues too, says, now we will surely die, for we have seen an angel. And Mrs. Manoach says, what's the matter with you? Go in the house and lie down. If the angel wanted to kill us, he'd have done that already. And Manoach says, oh, yeah, okay. The truth is, you know how children are very often like their parents? Is Manoach a bright guy? No, he is not. Well, neither is Samson. Samson is big, he's strong, but he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer. Okay, so Samson is born, and one day he says, Ma, can I have a little bit of that MD 2020? And she says, no, because number one, it's not a kosher wine, and number two, you are a Nazarite and should remain so from your birth. He says, oh, okay, can I get married? And she says, yeah, gay gazette. I think in those days, well, the truth is a girl could get married when she was 12, and a boy, I think, had to be 18. But it's only because of propagation, because the tribe was very small. Therefore, if you are in a small tribe, you should be endogamous. You should only marry within the tribe. And Samson's big fault, and this is what is a major part of the story, is that he has a roving eye, because it's like you can date Rebecca, you can date Rachel, you can date Sarah. He says, no. He says, I want Aholibama. She says, Aholibama is a Philistine girl. I'm sure she's very nice, but she's not for you. He says, I really want to marry a Philistine. You know, they say once you go Philistine, you never go back. And his parents are saying, not a good idea, really. I mean, endogamy and so on. He says, I don't know what that means. Could you get me a Aholibama for my wife? They say, all right. So they go. So on the way to Aholibama's house, because she lives generally in the Ashkelon suburbs, you make a right at Akko and you go straight. When you see the well, you're there. Okay. So they go to see her. And in those days, there were wild animals in Israel. And they're minding their business, and all of a sudden, a ferocious lion leaps out, and Samson feels the Spirit of God come upon him. He grabs the lion. Okay, it's a real lion, but for the sake of this group, I'm going to make it a mechanical lion. There you go. It's an audio animatronic lion, specifically manufactured for this story. And he grabs the top jaw and the bottom jaw, and he rips the lion in half. And his parents say, whoa, you're a strong boy. He says, yeah, I got weights in the garage. Okay. So anyway, they go, they make the arrangements for the marriage to Aholibama. That's not really her name. We don't know her name. Again, she's just that Philistine lady. So on the way back, they see his parents go a different way. All of a sudden, the parents vanish from the story. That's the way the Tanakh works. And what does he discover in the lion? Okay, I give you multiple choice. Honey, sugar substitute, or rapidly melting Rocky Road ice cream. Oh, good, very good. Go with the honey. He takes the honey is in the lion's carcass. Would you eat honey from a lion's carcass? I think not. But he does. He's such a cut up, that Samson. He takes a nice double handful of honey and he walks along eating it as he walks. He gets home. He says, Mom, Dad, look what I got. And they eat some of the honey. And the thing is, he doesn't tell him that he scraped the honey out of the carcass of the lion, because his parents would not want to eat that. I don't think any human being would want to eat that. And why is there honey in the carcass anyway? It's part of the story, but whatever. Then he gets married. And when you got married in those days, they would send companions, 30 companions he doesn't even know. And he tells them a riddle. He says, I got a riddle, I got a riddle. And he says, out of the eater came forth food, and out of the strong came forth sweetness. Now, the deal with the riddle is, if they get it, he's got to give them 30 linen coats. If he gets it, he's got to get 30 linen coats. Did they get the riddle? No, they didn't know the lion. They didn't see the lion. They didn't eat the honey. What kind of dumb riddle is that? So he goes away. You never know where he goes. He comes and goes. While he's away, the 30 companions tell his wife, honey, they say, oh, wait, sweetheart, not honey, sweetheart, tell us the answer to the riddle. Oh, we're going to, and she says, oh, I don't want to tell you the riddle. He told you a riddle, figure it out. And they say, no, if you don't tell us the answer to the riddle, we're going to burn your father's house down. These people do not mess around. So she tells them it's the lion. He comes back, and they say to him, what is sweeter than honey and what is stronger than a lion? And he says, oh, you guessed my riddle. And they said, yeah, we guessed it fair and square. He says, yeah, I bet my wife told you. They say, yeah, pretty much. And he says, if you had not plowed with my heifer, you wouldn't have guessed my riddle. That's the only PG rated part of this story. He gets very upset. He burns down Ashkelon. He kills 30 people, and it doesn't work out very well. And the Philistines are thinking, we got to get rid of this guy. So they come up and they say, oh, next, he's done with the nameless wife, Aholibama. Now he's in love with Delilah. Wasn't there a movie with Delilah Jones or something? Actually, that's a Grateful Dead song. I don't know. It must be a movie too. Delilah Jones was the mother of twins. The first were planned and the rest were sins. Okay. Anyway, they come down, the Philistines, and they bind him with ropes. And as soon as they do that, the Spirit of God comes upon him. He tears the ropes and he chases them away. But at this point, since he's got the serious relational feelings for Delilah, the Philistines go to Delilah and they say, honey, sweetie baby, you're one of us and you got to work for us. We want you to be a double agent. You be in love with him, but you find out the secret of his strength. So Delilah nuzzles up to him one night and she's sitting in his lap on the Barca lounger. And she says, oh, my beloved Samson, tell me the secret of your strength. He says, if I am bound with 7 bowstrings that have not yet been waxed, I will be as weak as a baby. And while he's asleep, now the thing with bowstrings that have not been waxed, I think you may recall I told you, when I was at sleepaway camp, we all had to excel in some sport or other. And this was a good way to lose weight and limber up and generally become athletic. So I chose archery. And it's not even that I became such a great archer, but the strength, the muscles in my 2 fingers are something remarkable to this day. If I want to summon a waiter, all I have to do is, see, they come right over, not a problem. Okay, so while he's asleep, that wicked Delilah binds him up with 7 bowstrings, and she goes, Samson, the Philistines are upon you. He jumps up, and he breaks the bowstrings, and he's all ready for action. And she says, come on, don't fool me anymore. What is the secret of your strength? And he says, if you take my 7 locks, see, he had locks of hair, and he smelled really fishy. But he says to her, take the 7 locks and bind them to the loom, and I will be weak as a lamb. So while he's asleep, she brings the loom over, and she sits there and she spins and she does the warp and the woof, which I do not know one from the other. And then his hair is all attached to the loom. And she says, Samson, the Philistines are upon you. He jumps up and but he beats off the Philistines. But finally, she says, look, enough of this bunco steerage game you're playing. Tell me for sure. Tell me for real. And he says, okay, I've been a Nazarite my whole life. If you cut off my hair, preferably while I'm sleeping so I won't know, I'll be, again, as weak as a baby. She cuts off the hair. The Philistines are coming. He jumps up. He tries to beat up the Philistines. Doesn't work. They take him prisoner. And I'm going to, because you're nice people, I'm going to leave out the part where they take out his eyes. Oh, I put it in. All right, anyway. And they put him in prison. And then comes the big festival of Dagon. Now, the festival of Dagon, he was their chief god. And what his name means, he's either a merman, because in Hebrew, the word dog means fish. I know in English, the word dog means dog, but only in Boston. And other people said it's from Dagan, which means corn or grain. So we don't know if he was a stalk of corn or a merman. It doesn't really matter. They go to the grand temple of Dagon. And this is a very important Philistine festival because they do a fundraiser. And they always do one of those 80-20 jobs. Only in this case, they give 80% to the winner. They never figure out why they don't make any money on the fundraiser. Okay. And they say, oh, let us amuse ourselves. 7 days have passed and we are drunk. It's like the Purim story. Take out Samson from the jail and bring him in to amuse us. So they bring in poor Samson and they tie him to the center posts of the building. It is the kind of building I would have built with my Lincoln Logs or maybe Tinker Toy. It's got a flat roof. Every shul I've ever served has a flat roof, and then it leaks. I never understand that. Okay, but the two pillars hold up the roof. And he says to the boy who is his guide, let me feel the pillars upon which the roof rests. And the kid takes him over. And all the Philistines are laughing and making fun of him and throwing tomatoes and generally skylarking. And he says, dear God, give me my strength one last time that I may be revenged on the Philistines for the loss of my two eyes. And God does it. And he pushes and he pushes. And I'll never forget when I was a kid, I had this book of Bible stories, and there was a big painting, a big portrait of Samson pushing the pillars. And it said, Samson gave a mighty push. Crack, crash, in fell the roof. Well, that is what happened. And poor Samson is buried in the ruins along with his oppressors. And what is the moral of the story? I really couldn't tell you. Don't drink wine with Philistines. Don't eat honey from a dead lion. Wear linen when you can. Okay, thank you so much. That's the law of the Nazarite. If anybody wishes to become a Nazarite, I will be glad to work with you in helping you grow your hair and not drink wine. Okay, Shabbat Shalom. Thanks very much. Okay, Cantor, I softened them up.
Shabbat Shalom. Yosher Koach.
Yosher
Page
Koach.
number 28, the Baruch.
Yes, we rise for the Baruch Hu.
Baruch et Adonai Yamevora.
Baruch Adonai Amvorach Li'olam Vahed.
Baruch Adonai Yamevora. Li'olam Vaed.
Amen. Okay, on page 28, if you have the prayer book, you can read with me, or this is the bottom right on 28. Beloved are you. Beloved are you, eternal God, by whose design the evening falls, by whose command dimensions open up, and eons pass away, and stars spin in their orbits. You set the rhythms of day and night. The alternation of light and darkness sings your creating word. In rising sun and in spreading dusk, Creator of all, you are made manifest. Eternal, everlasting God, may we always be aware of your dominion. Beloved are you, Adonai, for this hour of nightfall.
ומה בניו ומה בלילה, ומה בניו ומה בלילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים תמיד נחלנו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, הבעלים בעלמים.
Amen. Page 29.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו מבעלתה. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, שומרנו וברכנו, ועשיית וקורותיך. וישמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, לאורך ימינו, ובהם יומם בלילה. ואהבת חיית עשינו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, ותעמוד ישראל.
Amen. All right, we have the Shema. We cover the eyes. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Uncover the eyes. Baruch Shem Kivod, Malchuto Leolam. The English. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. And these words which I command you this day, you shall take to heart. Teach them diligently to your children. Recite them at home and away, night and day. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a reminder above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. Now we'll continue silently, the bottom paragraph on 30 and the paragraph on 31.
Adonai Elohim, Amen. Amen, Memuna, Kol Esotrecha, Yamaleinu, Ki hu Adonai Eloheinu, Ein Zulato, Malachnu Yisrael, Amen. We are in the middle of the page 32. La 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 ויראה מרכיב עלי יעקב, ויעלום מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה גאל ישראל.
Amen. All right, this is the prayer where we will not go around. However, if you know someone in need of Refu'ahShelemah, please keep their name in your mind. And I just wanted to, we offer condolences to the family of George Floyd, as well as the folks who were injured during the protests. Let's read together on page 33. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace. Guide us with your good counsel. Save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guard our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praised you, Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, over Jerusalem and the entire world. Ufros aleinu sukat shalom. Baruch atah Adonai, Borei sukat shalom aleinu v'al kol amo Yisrael, v'al Yerushalayim, v'al kol haolam kulo. Amen. Continuing on page 34, the Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ואני אומר בני ישראל, ברית עולם, ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
On page 35, we have the Amidah, 35b, and we do till page 38, after which you may be seated.
יתגדל ויתקדש שם רמה,
Amen.
ועל מה דיברה חירותה וימליך מלכותה, בחיי כל יום ובחיי כל בית ישראל.
יש מרע במנורה, לעולם לעולמי יתברך, יתברך,
Yitbarach,
Shabbat.
Yitbarach, Yitbarach,
Amen. All right, 35B to, I'm sorry, 35B to 38, and you may be seated. Shalom Nimroma. Uyase Shalom Aleinu. Be'alekol Israel. Yase Shalom.
יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל Okay, page number 48. Kaddish Shalem. יתגדל ויתגדל שם הרבה. ביד מה דברי חילותי וימליך מלכותי וחיי כל ויומי כל וחיי כל בית ישראל. מגלה וזמגלים בגימברו.
Amen.
יש לבב הפרודו. יאולה בריאל ביום פגיה. יתברך וישתמך ויתפר ודרוע ודרס ודרע 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 על שמי קודשה. ואלה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבקתה ונחמתה מעל מאמרים.
Amen.
יתקבל את צלותינו ואותנו לכל ישראל, כנמות משמיה וגימברו.
Amen.
יהי שלום הרוע משמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל וגימברו.
Amen.
עושה שלום בלעומה ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל ישראל. עושה שלום בלעומה ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל יושבי תבל.
Okay, the Aleinu, page 51. The ark is opened. One day.
עלינו לשבח
יוצא בראשית,
שלא עשה באויי הארצות ולא עשה למשפחות האדמה שלא עשה חלקנו כהם וגאלנו ככל עמוניו.
אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים
לפני מלך המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נטש השמיים ויוצר הארץ משה יקרה בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו לגובה ירומים הוא אלוהינו מלכנו זולתו כתבנו בתורתו וידעת היום וידעת היום השבותו לבבך כי אתה אלוהים בשמיים ועל הארץ יתברך כבודו מאוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני מלך הארץ
ביום ההוא
יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
All right, the mourners Kaddish, we want to offer sincere and heartfelt condolences to the families of Erwin Salby and also, blanking out here.
Mark Gilbert for his father.
Yes, right. Dr. Mark Gilbert, his father passed away. May they be comforted with the rest of the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. I'll just have some brief remarks before we do the Adon Olam. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Amen.
Amen.
Ma divra chirutei v'yamliach malchutei. V'chayechon v'yimeichon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael. Ba'galo v'zman kori v'yimru, Amen.
Amen.
Shmei Rabbah mivorach li'olam u'me'ol maya. Yitborach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpo'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha, b'richu, v'elah min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran v'alma v'yimru omein, Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru omein, Oseh shalom v'mromav, v'yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'yimru omein. All right, you may be seated. And I just wanted to, I don't think I couldn't let a Shabbat service go by without making reference to the events of the past week. And I'm not doing this to place blame or to take a political stand or anything like that. I'm simply going to read, as you know, I say it often enough, I grew up on the Lower East Side of New York City. And the development in which I grew up was, there were the co-op buildings, meaning that every single one had a plaque on it representing, it would have the face and the reputation of a particular Jewish social leader. Jews have always been involved in the societies in which we live. And even though the country is suffering and there are divisions, in the end, we have got to remember, regardless of political conviction, we are all Americans. We all love this country. And the reason I mentioned my old neighborhood is because the buildings across the street from me were the Amalgamated Clothing Workers buildings. And of course, we remember that back in the 40s and 60s, and until fairly recently, I think, most Jews were involved with unions. And there was a plaque on the gateway leading to the Amalgamated Clothing Workers buildings. And because I was that kind of a kid, I read everything. This was a plaque with a quote from a Jewish labor worker, labor leader by the name of Sidney Hillman. They were called the Hillman Houses. I don't know if you know his name. His reputation, I believe, has not endured. I'm going to read a very short excerpt from a speech he made in 1946. Sadly, he died very young. We want a better America, an America that will give its citizens, first of all, a higher and higher standard of living, so that no child will cry for food in the midst of plenty. We want to have an America where the inventions of science will be at the disposal of every American family, not merely for the few who can afford them. We want to have an America that will have no sense of insecurity and which will make it possible for all groups, regardless of race, creed, or color, to live in friendship, to be real neighbors. An America that will carry on its great mission of helping other countries to help themselves, thinking not in terms of exploitation, but of creating plenty abroad so we can all enjoy it here in America. That was it. Sidney Hillman. I guess I can show you his picture. Come on, Sidney. There you go.
Yasher Koach.
Thank you. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, and now I think Cantor will lead us in the Adon Olam.
Yes, I don't know if Rita wants to say
Oh, I'm
anything.
sorry, Rita. Oh, far be it from me, please.
I actually wanted to say something very akin to what Rabbi said, and he said it so well. I'll only add one thing, and I hope that you've read Rabbi's piece that he wrote so beautifully to the congregation, which is now on the website. I wrote something as well because we at Temple Shalom are a synagogue of conscience. We're a people of conscience. But I wanted to say something particularly about the Episcopal bishop from St. John's Episcopal Church in Washington, D.C. She spoke so beautifully. I know that you probably all heard her. And she spoke in a way that we can relate to. She spoke very rabbinically. And on the other side of things, in Rabbi writing so beautifully in relation to St. John's Episcopal Church, which she didn't write in relation to, but she spoke very through in what would be our tradition. And Rabbi spoke that way as well. It made me feel that people of good conscience in every religious organization, we say the same thing. Our goals are the same. Our love for scripture, the same. And our social conscience, the same. And I was very moved by that, and a feeling of being together in this world with other religious institutions who are so important in the life of America. As far as Temple Sholom, in this particular week that was so distressing, I can only say to you 2 words: Tikkun Olam. That's where it is. We're here to fix the world. I can't tell you how to do it. I know we can do it in our hearts. I know we can do it by our actions. And because we're part of such a wonderful synagogue family and part of the family of the world, if there's more of that that goes around, and we can spread it. Temple Shalom has a heartbeat. I've said it very often, but now our heartbeat needs to be loud, not disruptive, but loud. When we have to approach everything with kindness, we are blessed with Rabbi and blessed with Cantor, who know how to lead us down this path spiritually and morally. I think we're all blessed. I can't thank both of them enough from the bottom of my heart. I feel we're blessed as a congregation to have both of you. We're well led, and we can change the world one person at a time.
Amen.
I send you my love and every wish for a good Shabbos.
Beautiful. Thank you,
Thank
Yasher Koach. That was lovely,
Thank you.
really. Okay.
Okay, so we are going to finish our service on page number 54. Adonolam. No, let's change the music. Let's change the music. So let's do something a little bit more. Yes. Adonolam, Asher Malach, B'terem kol, Yetzir nivra, Nidrasa, Nekeso kol, Kasai melech, Shemo nikra. Ve'acharei, Yichlot hakol, Levado, Yimloch norav, Ve'hu haya, Ve'hu yeh, v'titparach. Ve'hu echad, ve'sheni, ve'achshilo, ve'achmira, ve'imreishi, ve'itachlit, ve'lo ve'yado, akidrochi, ve'ha'ira, ve'imruchi, ve'miyati, Adonai, Adonai, Elohim,
All right, please, Rob.
I would like to share with you
Okay.
just two lines of a song that is in Spanish. I don't think that there is a song of that in English. I mean, there is a translation, a singable translation in English, but I will translate for you. The words are this one. Aunque no lo veamos, el sol siempre está. Aunque no lo veamos, el sol siempre está. And what it means is, Sherry, did you understand what I said? Yeah, so unmute Sherry. Let's unmute Sherry. Unmute. Okay. I cannot do it from here. Can you, Doreen?
She's got to unmute it. Sherry, unmute yourself.
Sherry, you have to unmute yourself.
I'm unmuted.
So, aunque no lo veamos, el sol siempre está. How would it be in English?
Even though we don't see the sun, always it's here.
That's very nice.
We don't see the sun is always here. So even if it's cloud and even whatever is happening, the sun is always here.
Very
Okay.
nice. Very nice. And when Mashiach comes, we will all be unmuted.
It'll be unmuted in 1 second.
Thanks to Doreen. She's the best,
Always,
really. Yeah.
Okay. And the final blessing that actually, Barejejado Naivish Mereja, all this blessing is in this parasha, in Nassau parasha.
Oh, very
We
good.
have the blessing here in Nassau. It's just the place.
Yes.
Yeah, so we say the blessing, the final blessing for all of us and for all the world. Y Barejejado Naivish Mereja.
And Lord bless you and keep you.
Y Adonai Panabereja Vijuneca.
And Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
Shalom.
And Lord turn his face unto you and grant you peace. We'll say amen.
Amen.
Also, Nassau is, you're welcome, sweetie. Nassau is the Hanukkah Parsha. So if you feel like eating latkes, it's fine.
I want to welcome anyone that was new the first time tonight, by the way. Welcome to Temple Shalom. I'm unmuting everybody. Okay, you guys can talk.
Who is new? Who is new?
Hi.
Elena?
You're open?
Elena, where is Elena?
Welcome.
Welcome.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Welcome,
Elena.
Elena.
Alana.
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 Alana is a past president of Sisterhood.
I didn't recognize, I don't know her. I haven't
Just
been
moved
there.
a little
I'm
north.
tracking her anyway.
No, I
Yeah,
was
say
in,
hi to Matt. Say hi to Big Matt.
Ilana Dixon.
I thought I was invisible. I didn't know I was in the Zoom.
I would have watched it.
You guys. Nice
Yes,
to-
yes. You are in the Zoom.
Ilana was
Okay.
president of Sisterhood forever.
I haven't been here forever.
I said you were president of Sisterhood forever.
Oh, yeah, I think I held a record.
Yeah.
That was my pleasure. This is the best shul in the universe.
Oh, you're wonderful.
Thank you so much.
How's Big Matt?
Oh, Big Man is doing great.
Oh, good, good.
Good.
Very nice.
Come and visit.
Okay, when you guys open again.
This is visiting.
Really.
This is what we do.
Tomorrow night, Havdalah. What
Tomorrow
time?
night, thanks, Harry.
Also, Sunday, it's a mitzvah. This is a Shiva Minyan for Dr. Mark Gilbert and Dr. Sharon Gilbert. Mark's father passed away at the age of 91. Let him rest in peace. So that's what we're going to be doing. I don't have to give you the address or anything because you're already here. So-
Rabbi, I'm wearing a New
7
Hampshire
o'clock on
shirt.
here, Zoom.
Today it's 7.
Oh, the New Hampshire shirt. Very nice.
Look, I'm wearing a New Hampshire shirt when we
Yes,
visited
I
our
could see
son.
that. Yes. You know, I lived there 22 years. I never got one of those.
You didn't have a New Hampshire shirt?
No, but I had a red flannel shirt.
Oh, okay.
Love that.
And I got
New Hampshire.
matching one.
You know what to bring next time that you are coming down.
Yes, yes. Okay. Well, we have the Spears who are from New Hampshire, yes.
We're
Hello.
I'm in New Hampshire right now.
Really? What part?
If you look here, you'll see the snow in the trees. Yeah. okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Our son lives in Rochester.
Oh, very
Thanks, everyone.
Nice.
See you
We're in
tomorrow night.
Manchester.
Hi, Ida.
yeah.
Thank you.
All right, be well.
Thank you.
Good job.
Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Great to see you.
Shalom.
Yes.
Shalom.
Chaim, l'chaim. There you go.
I am.
Okay. All right. So